subtraction here for D, you subtract 2 3 base 5 and 1 4 base 5. Okay, if you subtract 4 from 3, you cannot, therefore you borrow it from that 2. Whenever you borrow that 2 in base 5, you add 5 here. Okay, therefore this 2, after borrowing, 2 becomes 1, but this 3 becomes 3 plus 5, 8. Therefore this 3 becomes 8 because you need to add the base after you borrow. Okay, now this 3 becomes 8. Therefore 8 minus 4 is what? 4. Of course in base 5. And now you have a 1 left in this 2. The 1 minus 1 is 0. You don't have to write. Therefore answer is just 4 in base 5. Let's do E. In the subtraction base 3, subtract 2 from 0, but you cannot. Therefore you have to borrow from this 0. The neighbor is this 0, but this 0 has nothing to give to this 0. Therefore this 0 borrow from this 2. Makes sense? And therefore this 2 becomes 1, but this 0 becomes 3, because whenever you borrow, whenever this 0 borrow from this 2, this 0 becomes 3. This middle 0, okay, this middle 0 becomes 3 because you had to add that 3 on this 0. Actually 0 plus 3. Now but this 2 becomes 1. Now this 0 is 3. Okay, now this, the side 0 here, the first place 0, borrow from this 3, and this 3 becomes 2, but this 0 becomes 3, because in base 3 you got to add. As long as you borrow, you got to add it, right? Makes sense? Now this is 3, this 0 becomes 3, 3 minus 2 is 1, and notice that this 0 here, the middle 0 becomes 2 now. It was 3, but when that 0 gives 1 here, this becomes 2. 2 minus 1 is 1, and this 2 becomes 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0 in base 3. Okay, therefore this subtraction answer is 111 base 3. All right, F. In this subtraction here, again, you cannot subtract 2 from 1. Therefore you borrow from this 2. This 2 becomes 1. This 1 becomes 5. Why? Because after you borrow, you have to add the base on this number. Okay, 4 plus 1, which is 5. Now 5 minus 2, which is 3, and this is 1 minus 1, which is 0 in base 4. Makes sense? Therefore answer is 3 base 4.